Hello everyone, my name is Mattia, this is my game project called Alliance, and today we are talking about pigeons. Specifically homing pigeons or racing pigeons. So I had this idea about making gameplay with homing pigeons for a while, and in this video I'm going to explain a bit about how that would work. Let's first explore the art side of things. Of course, I didn't have a pigeon, so I had to make one from scratch. Making bird characters can seem a bit daunting, so I'm going to show you how I did mine. First thing you want to do is gather some references. Looking for these images, I tried to be specific with homing pigeons, and I tried to find images that will help me build the wings and rest of the animal. This is my old blockout in ZBrush, and I'm going to use it as a starting point. After a bit of refinement, I was a lot more happy with the face. Body and legs still needed work. On this version of the model, I started to clean things up a bit. So I added the inner mouth and I started working on the wings. I added some detail on the feet, and about at this point I decided that I need my game mesh. A mesh that is going to be used for animation. So I retopologized the mesh specifically for that. After retopology was done, I wanted to transfer the high poly details to the newly created low poly mesh. One thing that's even better than looking at image references is visiting a relative and seeing the pigeons in person.
Neku pozadinu bi trebalo možda.
Ma ne,
A?
seoska pozadina.
Ovako,
Observing the birds in real life gave me a great opportunity to find the things that I'm missing from references and ask some general questions about keeping pigeons. Maybe some of this I can translate later on into gameplay. For example, once a pigeon decides on its home location, it will return to that home location for up to 5 years. However, if that location is either closed or ruined or something, it will return to its second home location. This ability of pigeons to find their home location was used in medieval times to send letters. So for example, if you buy a pigeon in town A and take it to town B, you can attach a letter to its leg and release it. The pigeon will fly back to its home in town A. If we are talking about medieval times, then the fastest mode of transportation was a horse. But if you imagine some difficult terrain, then a pigeon flying just pure air distance is a lot faster than a horse. Let's say for gameplay purposes we are going to make it twice as fast. So if you imagine a game where you have a mini-map and you can travel 200 kilometers or 124 miles, writing letters with pigeons comes in handy. While rigging the model, I decided to oversimplify the wing. I made a few bones that will help me move the upper part of the wing, and the whole lower part of the wing is just morph targets. With just 2 animations created, the in-game pigeons already started to look convincing. I tried to implement some optimizations on these pigeons. Here you can see some debug spheres and the game checks every few seconds player distance. So basically the green ones can jump in the air or fly away from the character, while the red ones only have an idle animation. Once a pigeon flies too far away, he becomes a different blueprint entirely. You can see it here with white color. Each pigeon also has some genetics data. For example, is it a male or a female? What is its home location? What is its speed? And so on. This data can be used to determine the pigeon's offspring. For example, its skin material. Because my pigeons are also added to the item handling system, I can use them in gameplay. For example, here I have a cage for the birds, and if I put a male and a female bird inside and also one bird's nest, you can imagine what will happen. Hopefully you already watched the first video in this series. There I covered that my game has two independent controls for each hand. This system allows me to be very efficient with item handling, and today I want to cover a little bit about crafting. All of the crafting data is already in the item. All that player has to do is press the use hand button. Game will also drop hints for you if you don't know what to do. In this example, game wants me to add 3 bundles of sticks to make a bird's nest. Newly created item can have completely different stats. Let's craft a few more. Can you imagine some crafting recipes? For example, if I take a stick and cloth, it can make a torch. And would you look at that, it seems our birds are nesting. Eggs of these birds already have genetics written into them. Hatched pigeons will only have color from their parents. Hatched pigeons will also get a new home location. Let's say you find a pigeon with different color and you want to make it your own. You would have to go through the breeding process, and the hatched pigeon has a chance to have the new color, but it will have your home location. When you finally receive a pigeon with a letter, what might that letter look like? Reading a letter like this would trigger a quest in game. Game recognizes the important parts of the letter. In this case, the quest is urgent. You have to travel to Southport and meet a man called Jordan. In addition to receiving letters, you could also write letters. In these letters, you can write whatever you want, and the game will recognize the important parts. For example, in this letter, the important parts are send 100 bottles of wine, send 2 lamps, and where. If I attach the letter to the correct pigeon, which home is Southport, it will fly there and people there will send me what I requested. That will be all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the project, you can subscribe to the channel or send a video to a friend that you think might like the game, because I'm trying to get more subscribers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.